All right, yo, welcome to Mindful Attraction 2.0. And today's video, we're gonna be talking about unsuccessful habits. I already covered successful habits. I'm gonna be adding more successful habits, but I wanted to talk about an unsuccessful habit. And it's a habit that everyone has for obvious reasons, because of insecurity, because you feel like you don't know enough. And that's called being an informational junkie. I got this habit from Tim Ferriss from the book, The 4-Hour Workweek. And he was talking about, I got it from, and he was talking about how sometimes we read too much. We take in too much knowledge and we try to understand too much. But since it happened is that when you read too much, you become an informational junkie. You find pleasure in just reading rather than acting upon what you read, right? And that used to be my problem. And I used to read a lot, as you can see, right? Actually, this happens a lot in the pickup community, where in the community of men learning how to talk to girls, where guys will just read theory. They'll read how to talk to girls. They'll read about how to pick up girls. They'll read how to take a girl home, but they'll never act on it. And so they'll learn a whole bunch of methods, and you could ask them about what you should do in this situation. They'll fucking know, but they don't have any practical experience, which means that they never applied the things they talk about. And so what I learned about being an informational junkie is that people just derive pleasure from learning. You love to learn, but you don't love to apply. So you get a whole bunch of information, and what doesn't happen is that you get informational overload, where you're learning so much, but you don't know what to apply. So this is what I learned. And why I keep talking about certain books specifically is finding one concept, one book, one author that resonates with you, and sticking to that book until you fucking apply that shit, right? For me, it was The Power of Now and Psycho-Cybernetics. What I did is that I read those two books, and said to myself, you know what? These books are the books that I'm gonna need. So what I did was I focused exclusively on learning about them. And I just kept rereading the same chapters so that I can internalize those concepts. So rather than reading one book or going into another, I went into one book and studied the shit out of it, right? Until I applied it. I didn't stop until I applied it. And so a lot of people, they just go and read a book and go into another one. But what you should do is find one book or one concept that resonates with you and just read that and just study that and just keep learning about that one subject. Because what's gonna happen is that sooner or later, your brain is gonna get the message that you wanna apply this, and you're gonna apply it. But if you keep reading a different subject, you just learn to learn, that's fine, but it's not really focused. You see, also, it means that, for example, like a lot of people read and they just read. But what you should do, you should only read when you have a problem. Only read when there's a specific thing that you want to address, right? And just address it and just read it, right? Because people just get in the habit of reading and never applying. That happens a lot. People get into that habit, and that's dangerous, because then you just know stuff, but you don't have anything to show for it because you just don't apply it. And everyone gets in that habit. Trust me, man, I get into that habit too. So that's what I began doing. And so, for example, like what I did was I said to myself, okay, let me not be an informational junkie. So that's why I read, but I read in short bursts. I'll find one subject that I need for my subject, for my specific sticking point, and I'll just read on that subject until I master it. With pickup, this is the way I did it with talking to girls, is that rather than reading about everything there is about how to talk to girls, I just read about one subject. For example, if I noticed that I was able to approach a girl, but I sucked at going from the opener, which was, hey, I saw you, blah, 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 to the transition, which is, by the way, where are you from? Oh, okay, boom. The transition is the point of the opener until you go into the good conversation. So what I would do is, rather than reading a whole bunch of shit, I just read and studied on that one specific sticking point, which is my transition. I didn't study anything. I didn't study how to get the number. I didn't study how to open. I didn't study how to be funny. I just studied how to go from the opener to the conversation. And you know what happens? You get good fast. And the thing is that you don't read a lot. You just read based on whatever you need, and you learn faster. Okay, let's say that you have a business and you're not making a lot of money, and you just happen to have a horrible copy, like a horrible copy in terms of your copy on your website to sell your business is not that good. You know what you should do? Rather than reading a book on how to run a business, read a book on how to write copy, specifically on whatever problem you need. And so you know what I did? I bought that book, motherfuckers, right? And it's specifically on that. And so I'm only reading this book. And that's the point, is that there's so much information out there that people just get overloaded. They have so much shit and they don't know what to pick. You gotta find one subject that's related to the biggest sticking point you have, and find a book specifically on that, or at least an article on that, and don't hop off that until you master that. That's what you have to do. You have to, you have to stick with it until you master it. Because if you don't do that, then you're just gonna go into another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and you're never gonna get nowhere. You're just gonna know some stuff. Yeah, you're gonna be a hopper. Don't be a grasshopper, all right? You wanna be someone who stays with it until you get it done. That happens a lot, man. That happens with me sometimes. A lot of times that happens. And I bet, motherfuckers, man, I know this happens to you guys because you guys watch this channel. You know, I'll give you a solution and you just go to another video. And then I'll give you a solution and then you go to another video. My channel is perfect for informational junkies. That's funny I say that. But what you have to do is, for example, with my videos, is find one video that resonates with you, one video, and stick to that video. If I tell you that there's a two-step formula on how to get a guy attracted, stick to that formula and master that formula. Don't go into the three emotions that makes a guy weak for you. Stick to this two-step formula. But that's the point. I fucked up, right? But that's the point, is that just find one tactic and stick to it. That's how you get good. And I bet you money that everyone that watches my channel and tries to apply what I teach and they suck at it, it's for this simple concept that they don't, that they never got into the habit of mastery. They never got into the habit of finding one thing and sticking to it. It's that simple. In martial arts, this happens. In martial arts, they only teach you one tactic at a time. They don't teach you everything because you got to master the fundamentals. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. Let me see if there's any comments. Let me see this. Anybody here? Is anybody here? I got a book on how to, okay, like Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor, yes sir. Ah, shit, 1 second. Oh, there you go, I could be comments now, okay. I should find a book that won, yeah, let me see, it's a gorgeous day, it is a gorgeous day. I got a book on how to start a business, and the first thing I said was, this book is the only I'm going to read until I take it. Exactly, that's how you do it. Like reading a book and just finding, yeah, and make sure it's a good book though, because sometimes you get stuck with a bad book. But you gotta find a book that's reputable and that's to your specific need, and then find out the one place where you gotta start. I mean, find out the place where in the process you kind of get stuck and focus on that one part. Because if you just read the whole book, that's fine. Read the whole book. But when you return to it, find a concept and stick to that concept until you get comfortable with it. Because that's how you learn. You don't learn to master something by getting a shit ton of information. You learn to master something by getting specific information that's based on your need. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. I'm gonna make some dating videos tomorrow. I like making these kind of self-help videos from time to time because I could talk about other things that I like to talk about. Yeah, not a lot of dating channels have this much self-help. This is the thing, is that for those who don't know, this is a dating channel. You know, teach you dark tactics. You know, on how to make them chase. You know, how to make them obsessed, right? But pretty much the point of this channel is to masquerade dating advice. It's to masquerade self-help advice as dating advice. You know, it's like a Trojan horse where I show you dating advice, but in reality I'm teaching you how to be happy. I'm teaching you about spirituality, and that's the way I envision it since the beginning. Like I've always, oh hey there pretty girl. I've always that's how I learned to be more spiritual, because of pickup. Like I used to this company that I used to learn from, they used to call Real Social Dynamics. And you know, they teach guys how to talk to girls, but what they do is that they teach a lot of self-help concepts that when you get out of it, when you finish, you actually realize that they were teaching you about spirituality. And I love that concept. And I said, you know what, that's what I want to do one day. I want to be able to teach people about the spiritual aspect of life and try to find a medium to teach it through. And I feel like the best one is dating, because there's nothing out there that causes most pain. There's nothing out there that brings out most of our insecurities than dating. And so that's the best thing that we could use as an alchemy to transform ourselves and to change ourselves. The problem is that most people don't use it for that way. Most people are failing to realize its effect on helping you transcend the mind and helping you overcome the problems, because problems arise when you're dating someone, but they don't arise from the situation. They arise from within yourself. And you have to learn where to direct your attention. Are you going to direct your attention at the presumed cause, which is the person? Or are you going to direct your attention at the source of the cause, which is your state of consciousness, your awareness, the way you see the world? See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. It's a beautiful day. I got this is one girl right here. I don't think you can see her. She's like hopping. See that? Look at her hopping. What are you doing, girl? Let me show you guys closer to it. Look. Oh, I was about to confront her for 6 months. See. Let me see. I'm reading the comments. I think you have more than dating advice to give. Of course. I've been writing a book for 6 months, as I have had a very interesting trauma and happy life so far. I know writers, but my problem is I can't sit down to start, even though I write bits. Choose wrong, guys. Well, if you write small bits, then what I would recommend you is continue writing small bits. And what you should do, read this book called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. He talks about how to get things done. I actually bought that book this week. I bought it, which means is that I gotta start. I read that book because I've been procrastinating too. So it's specific books for a specific problem, which is not procrastinating. You see, so that I buy that book and I don't read nothing else but that, and that's the way I do it, right? Let me see the comments. Eat that frog, yeah, eat that frog. Let me show you the girl. 1 second. She's hopping. Look. Whee! She can't get that shot. Oh man, I'm waiting for my yoga class. It's a 2 fucking hour class, man. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about this 2-hour yoga class. Like I bought coffee to get ready. I was like, oh man, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna stick to the 1 hour and 30-minute class. Cause 2 hours is a long time, man. 2 fucking hours of yoga? Get the fuck out of here, man. 1 hour is enough. An hour and a half is too much. Yeah, I'm in Union Square right now. Yeah, man. That's how the cookie crumbles. All right, yo, man. I'm about to bounce. Hope you guys have a good day, and it's gonna be a good day today, man. Bye-bye.